Good.
Okay.
Intense. Lots of meetings today. Yeah.
What was that? Lots of things to do?
Lots of meetings today. Digital meetings. It drains your head.
I know. It's funny because we were so used to, before we all went remotely, we were always just asking each other questions right from our desks, and now we have to call each other every time we have to, go over something. So it's a really big shift.
It is.
It is. Well, let's wait for a couple more people to join the conversation, then we'll get started.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. All right. I think we're good. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Claire Butwinick, and I am the assistant editor at Gray Magazine. With our current situation, keeping all of us at home, Gray is hosting dozens of these Instagram Live conversations with your international design community as part of our ongoing design show and video symposium, the Virtual Design Expo. And so we're hoping that these talks can build connection and community, and hopefully a momentary escape in this really awkward time. So with that being said, I'm so excited to introduce Johannes Carlstrom, the co-founder of the Swedish multidisciplinary firm Nook Design Studio and 2019 Gray Awards judge. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is exciting. I feel like, we really built this relationship with Gray, and I've, been emailing you, I feel like, for months. So it's so exciting to actually talk to you face to face, even though it's virtual.
Yeah, it's good to see you, actually.
I know, seriously.
For sure, yeah.
I was so happy to see your hotel in our last issue. It turned out so beautiful.
I agree. Thank you.
Yeah, it's such a great project. I was so happy to, the imagery was absolutely stunning. So I was really happy to feature that.
Cool.
Awesome. So for everyone joining us, today we're going to be talking about how Johannes got into design, how Note is navigating changes due to COVID-19, and the best advice he's ever received. So if you want to participate in the conversation, you can use the comment section below, or use the hashtag #DesignMustGoOn.
Yeah, those comments are nice. Huh?
I know.
Comment on my hair already. The kind of this is the go-to designer hair in Sweden at the moment, or maybe half a year ago.
It's like the mini bangs. It looks good.
It's like a little bit dumber,
I like it. It's a good look.
Thank you.
I know, we're also I haven't gotten my hair done in like 4 months now due to COVID. So, we're all kind of making do with what we have right now.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Okay, so I read in my research for this interview that you grew up in a small town in northern Sweden and studied in art school. How did you make the transition to first getting into design?
Yeah, that's right. I grew up in a small town. It's called Bollnäs in middle Sweden. I hadn't heard of working in the creative field at all at that moment. So for me, it kind of started with there was one teacher in high school, the drawing teacher. How do you call that?
Yeah, an art teacher. Yeah.
In art class, yeah. And he took his job seriously, and he educated us a lot. And I was interested. It was like one of the things that I really knew how to do. So I attended those classes, full focus. And he saw that, and I guess he saw a little bit of talent, and also the dedication. So he helped me to, he pushed that side a little bit and told me, okay, you should go to art school. You should learn the profession. So I started basically at art school, and then after a while, I was good with sculpture, the 3-dimensional stuff. So I turned into that towards products and speciality. So I went to design school after that. And that's it basically.
Yeah. Did you ever have any intentions of making your own design firm when you first went to design school?
Yeah, that was kind of the dream, I guess. And I hope to find, someone in my class or in my school that I could join and start something beautiful together with. That didn't happen though. I finished design school with, not the it was kind of a tough time at that time as well, economically, in Sweden. So I finished. I didn't know what to do for quite a while, and then I started to know some people, and we started to build something together. And after a while, I found my gang, and here I am.
And there you are. What is it? More than 10 years later. Now, Design Studio's been around for 12 years now.
But that was longer.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I'm an old guy. You can see it. Yeah, so that was back in. I graduated like 2000.
Okay.
No, 2001.
Okay, so you had a good period to figure things out before starting your own firm.
Yeah.
What led you to want to start your own design firm rather than working for another company?
Yeah, I tried to work. I worked at a big architectural practice for a while. They didn't like me that much, and I didn't like them too much. So I don't know. I guess I always wanted to be my own boss, and I also never wanted to do things as I was told. So I wanted to do stuff that I believe in myself. And I guess when I found the right people, we started this together, and then that was possible. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. It looks like we have a question here. What makes a good design gang for you? Maybe what makes a good design team?
Yeah, I guess that you can communicate and that you can trust each other. So you shouldn't be afraid. Designing is like, I guess, any other creative thing. You need to be confident in what you show, and you cannot be scared with the guys next to you. So it's a competition for sure, but internally at us here at Note, we don't we tend not to compete with each other. Like, we try to build each other, and then we compete with others.
Awesome. So speaking about that, I looked on your website before this, and I saw that you've already made like 3 or 4 projects in the year 2020 already, which is amazing. What are you guys working on right now?
We're working on a lot of stuff. Since the world has gone crazy, a lot of the projects that we're working on has been postponed or paused, or so. Especially, I work mostly with the spatial projects, like interiors and the architectural stuff, and that has been tough now for sure.
Yeah.
But product-wise, like, the producers are still working, so we have a lot to do there, and then we work a bit with strategy. Strategy.
Yeah.
Strategy. That's the word. We work a lot with with strategy as well, so we can help companies to find new ways in this situation.
Yeah.
So a lot of our work now is that.
Okay, so you're seeing a shift in your business to be more strategy based, obviously, because your interior projects are kind of put on hold right now. Would you say that that's like the biggest effect that's happening?
Yeah, definitely. Because I guess we have the same, or we have the same challenges as many companies, but we always try to think forward and be ahead a little bit, so that helps us now.
How was the transition to working remotely? I'm assuming that you were working in the office before all of this, right?
Yeah, we really appreciate working in the office, actually. That's one of the core things for us, to see each other face to face and to be able to, I don't know, the communication is so important. So
I agree, and especially when you're designing, I feel like it's so collaborative. It's much easier to be in person for a lot of those. I know that's what a lot of the people that I've talked to have said, that's been really difficult.
It is. It's challenging, but also since we work a lot across the world, we work in many different countries, so we're kind of used to communicate through the screen as well, and develop projects that way. But we're not used to internally produce stuff did
Right.
only with digital communication. But it works. It works. But
Yeah, yeah. It looks like we have a few questions coming up here.
okay.
Let's see. It says, have you always been stuck to your vision? Like, have you always stick to your vision? And how flexible should we be with respects to clients' wishes?
Oh,
That's a good
yeah.
question.
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
I think when we started, we had a vision of what we wanted to be. Not clear at all, I must admit, but we knew that we wanted to achieve something, and we strived towards that. In the beginning, we couldn't like challenge our clients at all. We just had to do what they told us. And but after a while, we kind of understood that our integrity was also valued. So I think when you work with a client, you should understand the needs, and you should understand the client, but you should also understand yourself. And it's not always that the client knows best. They know their stuff, but we can also bring other things to the table. That's super important. And I think for us, when we really started to trust ourselves, then that is when we also made progress, and when we started to do beautiful things, and also our clients started to understand the value of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel like you've built such a distinct design language that people expect that and people want that. You know, they come to Note Design Studio now because of, you know, the really beautiful, colorful, yet minimal designs that you do. So, I mean, you've really built a wonderful reputation on that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. It looks like we have another question. How do you think this will change the design this will change design after this unprecedented time? So what are the long-term effects of the COVID-19?
It's really hard to say. I mean, I don't know. We discuss that all the time. I guess the long-term changes. Some will remain. Like maybe the distancing of people, because we belong to get close, but I guess to be close to strangers is maybe something that will change a little bit. Like being in a packed bar. I don't know. The digital stuff, like being able to work from home, all the progress that is being made now, when like finding solutions on how to work remotely, that will stay, I think. But yeah, it's hard to say. I don't know actually.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's so uncertain. Like this person was saying that I think you know, nobody has the answer yet, but I think we're all in kind of the brainstorming period. So one of my next questions, and I think, you know, you talked about how you went to art school when you were younger, but what did you want to be when you were 10 years old? Did you want to be an artist?
No, not really. When I was 10 years old, like growing up in this small town in the middle of the forest, I didn't even know that was a possibility. So I don't know. I grew up with my mom, and she is this free-spirited kind of woman. She was really into, and still are, she's really into the alternative medicine and stuff like that. So I guess when I was 10 years old, what I saw, maybe to be a massage therapist or a sauna therapy kind of guy. I don't know.
That's
or
funny.
yeah, if not a police officer or a firefighter. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Now, clearly that didn't pan out exactly, but
No, not really.
that's always so fun to hear. I know I wanted to be a ballet teacher when I was a kid, which I barely even took ballet, so I don't even know why. But
No, I think
like
it's different if you come from like a background where there's an academic or aesthetic history in the family.
That's
Then
true.
you know. I didn't know, so for me it was kind of a long path to find the right way. Yeah.
Well, we're glad that you found it because now you're making some beautiful work.
Yeah, thank you.
So, who is someone who has shaped your life professionally?
Yeah, except from this teacher in high school. I guess I had a teacher. His name is Peter Hallén, a guy, a Swedish architect.
Mm-hmm.
He was when I started design school. He was the one. He had a lot of ideas. He was a strong character, and at that time, that was in the late '90s. Everything was. It was like Dutch design here a lot, like the great ideas and like kind of the disruptive view on design and what could be done. So a lot of those ideas came from him, and yeah, he taught me a lot actually.
Mm-hmm. That's great. It looks like we have another question. Is there any industry or topic that's on your design wish list to work with?
We actually we've been talking about that a lot because we had maybe 2 or 3 years ago we had lots of projects that we wanted to do. Now we have done quite a lot, so we need to reestablish the ideas that we cannot really reach yet.
Mm-hmm.
One dream project that we have, like in the studio, as a collective, is to do. How is that in English? I don't even know. Like a chapel.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That would be
a chapel with without like any connections to a certain or a specific religion or belief. So like a chapter where every religion is allowed and not bound to any organization or religion. That's one of the things that we have tried to do for a few years, but we haven't succeeded yet.
That's really cool.
Mm.
Huh. I didn't even think about that. I'm excited to see what that looks like.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, and then second to last question. I love asking this one. What is the best advice you've ever received?
Maybe maybe that same guy, Peter Hallén, my teacher. He was kind of this a visionary, but also really hard. And I remember like one time during a critique session in front of class, he asked me like directly in front of the class, like, "But hey, Johannes," in Swedish he said, "Tänker du med magen eller tänker du med hjärnan?" And that meaning like, are you thinking with your guts or are you thinking with your brain? So what he meant was like, are you stupid? No, he meant, are you using your brain? But that was kind of good because I thought a lot about that. And in that time I was working a lot with the gut feeling and like the intuitive thing. Now I still use that. It wasn't meant as like a good thing, I think, from him, but yeah, you need to use both your gut feeling and your brain. And the brain needs to validate what the gut says, and the gut needs to validate what the brain kind of thinks. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Definitely. That's great advice. And then my last question for you, we've been asking everyone this. Are there any organizations or nonprofits or individuals that you're supporting during the pandemic?
Yeah, personally, I always support what is it called? UNHCR, the UN Health, no, the kind of the refugee program from the UN. Mm-hmm. And they... That's like a monthly thing I always do. And now in these times, I donate it to the World Health Organization. You can donate just any sum you want. So, and I think, I don't know, for me, I go to these bigger organizations. And yeah, for the World Health, I think now the rich countries has been affected by COVID. Mm-hmm. When it hits the poorer countries, yeah, it will be, let's see what happens. And I think there will be a great need there.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Well, thank you so much, Johannes, and this was so fun. I'm so glad we finally got to talk face to face.
Ditto. Thank you.
Yeah. And thank you everyone for joining this virtual design speaker talk. And if you would like to see the conversation again or you missed a part of it, the live stream will be on our Instagram story all day, and then it will live permanently on our IGTV and on the Virtual Design Expo website. And on Friday, we have our next conversation with Youth Bahar from Fuse Project. So thank you, Johannes.